So I met with Spencer Sheffield yesterday, and I've had a lot of people texting and calling and just people I meet. When you going to tell us about your talk with Spencer? Spencer and I talked for about 2.5 hours. It started off, he felt like I was attacking him in the videos that were posted. And I wasn't attacking him or Matt Becker. I was attacking the situation with MLF. And I'm going to tell you right now, the biggest issue was Daniel Fennell with MLF because he's the tournament director, okay? And when the way the rules read is you can't visually or visibly catch the same fish twice. So if you're an ethical person, you pretty much know what that means. You can't catch it more than twice, period. Okay. However, because it said visibly, people asked the tournament director, well, what if we're not looking at it? What if we can't see because of a mud line or this and that? And what he should have said was, you can't knowingly, you can't do it. But people fish the rules. They fish the rules all the time, and that's what they did. So I think there was like 16 people that took a polygraph. And yes, one person failed it that I know of. But the guys that caught a fish multiple times in the same day, they're not going to get in trouble for that. There's not going to be a penalty for that. Okay, the one video I posted about Matt Becker, he's not going to get in trouble for that. Because there was some issues with how the rule was written. Okay, there's some confusion about it. Once the tournament director says what he said, it made some confusion. So now they're not going to do anything about that part of it. The deal with Spencer, he adamantly denies doing any wrong. Okay. Spencer's been fined. Okay. And he says I didn't do anything wrong. I'm fighting it. Spencer is either the most honest person in the world and truly believes everything that he said to me, or he's got to be the deadgum dumbest to keep arguing this. When it was over, I told Spencer I didn't believe him because of the video evidence and him fell in the polygraph test. So, you know, the issue now is I've told him, and people that fail polygraph tests, and they go say, well, I took my own polygraph test and I passed it. It don't work that way, okay? But I did offer him that I would get a polygraph examiner. I would have the questions written just like MLF did, or as close to it as possible, and see if he could pass it. Because he feels like the anxiety is what caused him to fail it, okay? And sort of the way the questions were written. So, anyway, I've offered for him to do that. I don't know if he's going to do that or not. I don't know if he's going to fight it or not. I feel like the next few days will determine whether he ever fishes MLF again or not. You know, I said you should go out and tell people, hey, I hate the way it looks. I hate what happened. I don't feel like I did anything wrong, but I'll try to do better from this point forward, because that's what he told me. He told me that he learned, you know, he's a rookie essentially, and he learned that from this point forward, not to have anything that could be looked at sketchy or not looked at in the right way. So I think that he should go out and tell everybody that, because look, if we're all judged by one day of our life, then we're all going to hell and we're all pieces of crap. Okay? We've all had one day that we wish we could take back in our life. So I think people in the fishing world would probably forgive him in a way if he asked for that forgiveness, but he doesn't think he needs to. He adamantly denies any wrongdoing, vehemently denies it. We had the conversations about the fish he caught under the dock, and he swears he wasn't sight fishing. But I said, you know, the fish was on the bed, but that's what other people were doing. And so just like with Takahira, I mean, he said he was doing it. Okay. And there are other people that were doing it that I haven't called their names yet. So I don't know how MLF's going to handle it, but the whole reason this issue is what it is to begin with the catching multiple fish or catching the same fish multiple times is because the rule was somewhat sketchy, and the tournament director, the way he clarified it, it made it okay for people to go do that. And people that, in my opinion, didn't have the morals that I think some other people had, decided to go and do it. To bend the rules or fish the rules. And bend the rules, you fished them. You can say, well, I wasn't looking at it. So we'll see how it goes from here. And we'll see when MLF announces their punishment. I know what the punishment is, but I don't know if they're going to stick to it. So I'm not going to say it. And one more thing I wanted to add. When we talk about visibly fishing a sight fish, if you visibly mark where it's at by marks on the bank or whatever it is, then you visibly tried to catch that fish. And one of the anglers turned his head and set the hook. That's garbage. Okay, that angler knows who he is. That's garbage. Okay, you felt the fish bite and then turned your head. But if you marked with landmarks where those fish were, most of you did, you're marking where the fish were and then going back and throwing at those landmarks. You're still visibly sight fishing, period.